on, let's go.
This happens all the time. I'm laughing.
Every time. Every time.
Peace and Shabbat Shalom, Mishpacha Anu, and everyone in the space. Peace, Imanaya, Sister Kashia, share the joy. How y'all doing? How y'all be? We fine.
Peace.
Feeling you're fine. So we are joined by, she's down here today, Ima Precious, and special guest who's joining us, Sister Maksha.
Oh, wait. There's she over there.
For me.
Peace, everyone. Shabbat shalom.
So we are also going to be joined by some special guests later this evening, but we want to get started. We're already a little bit late. Sorry, we didn't mean to be the divas with y'all waiting for the concert, but we had some.
Right.
Imakuya,
Peace.
So it is, guess what? It is our last passage in family. Last passage. It took us a minute to get here, but we took our time because family is the most important. It is the most important judgment we'll make in our entire lives, second only to the decision of which God we choose to serve. So, we wanted to make sure we took our time. So for today, as the last day, we still on family, y'all. So this last passage, we wanted to make sure was extra special. And so we are going to give thanks. We are loud and clear. So we're going to be joined by some of the brothers, and we have some questions, and we have a surprise. We have a quiz. So we're going to have you join in live. I'm going to have that up on the screen. Hopefully it goes well. And so that is going to be so much fun. So right now, we are going to open the space, give thanks to the Most High. It is Shabbat. We are reached the last day of the strong of our sixth external. It is sunset, at least where some of us are. And so that means we are entering and have entered into our Shabbat, and it's our day and time of rest. So willingly, you all are here, and you are going to start your time of rest with us. So give thanks to the Most High. Give thanks to Chief Yuya for allowing us to use this space. Without Anu Life Global Ministries, we would not be here sharing our understandings and deliberating over the Anu Way Foundations, Volume 1. So we give thanks to Chief Yuya for letting us use this space. So Ima Precious.
Yes.
Hit us with the preface. Precious with the preface.
So, greetings. This book is not to be read only once. Read the words of this book of knowledge and wisdom out loud. Discuss the convictions of this work with your Anu brothers and sisters. Share this information with your people. This publication should be read daily. Every line in this book can be taken out of context and studied on the strength of its own potential. The truth is to be deliberated. The truth is to be deliberated. And of course, the preface is an excerpt from the Anu Way Foundations.
All right. And that leads us to the paragraph that we'll be looking at today, that piece from Family Structure, the last piece, Well, it isn't the last time that we actually will encounter family, though, because family is, seamlessly woven throughout the entire tome. So here we go. Ultimately, everyone in Anu should belong to a homestead. No individual should be left comfortless or without direction and guidance. As the head Jegna of Anu provides leadership and guidance to the men of Anu, the men of Anu should serve in the same function to the women and children of Anu. We are a movement of families. We always need doers of family and not chatterers of family. Faith without works is dead. The work is to recreate the structure of Yah on earth, as above, so below.
Say it one more time for the people in the back. Last sentence.
As above, so below.
As above, so below. That means we are reflecting the divine structure in the heavens. That's what family is supposed to do. Give thanks. Welcome, Ra. I don't know if sometimes these pictures, these avatars are so tiny. So I might be saying hello to an Anu person and don't realize that it's them. So if you are you already a new member, please let me know because sometimes I'm coming in with different names. So greetings, Rod. If you are new, welcome to this. And we already see our wrench is working. Give thanks.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I
Yes.
was like, who's
I
that?
saw some. I saw some. Yes.
I was like,
And I saw your face. I was like,
yeah.
something's awry in the chat already. That's because we know it's going to be fabulous. That's what that is.
Okay. So, we want to break down this first sentence. But before we do that, I want to put in the chat family. The word for family. Sister Maksha, can you tell us the word for family in Hebrew?
The word for family is mishpacha.
Mishpacha. So sometimes we break down, right? Aha, mishpacha. We break down the Hebrew word to get a better understanding of the meaning of that word because it's not just a bunch of letters strung together, but each letter in the Hebrew alphabet actually have their own definitions and meanings. So when a word is formed, it's more than just what it's translated to. It has a deeper meaning. So mishpacha is mem, shin, pe, chet, hey. Mishpacha. So mem is water. Give thanks, Sister Kashia. Mem is water. Shin is representative or a symbol fire or teeth or sharp. Pe is mouth. And chet is the wall or like a window, and hey is to look or behold. So using those symbols or those definitions of each of the otiot, which is letter in Hebrew, can you share with us your string together your story? The story of what the word tells. Mishpacha, water, fire or sharp or teeth, mouth, wall or window, and look or behold. Hey. So Sister Naya said, and I was going to ask if Hebrew will be on the quiz. No, actually, it's not. It's not. These are going to be some questions to make you think willingly. Okay, so while you do that, we're going to go into the first sentence because we know there's a 20-second delay.
Before you do that, can you repeat the breakdown for the people in the back and the people on camera?
Sure.
Maybe we can put up the Hebrew word too.
Oh, that would be even better.
Yeah. So mishpacha, mem. Give thanks. Mem,
Water,
which is water. Shin, which is fire or sharp teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Pe, because it's mishpacha. So pe, mouth. Chet, chet, window or wall or fence. And then hey is look or behold. So mishpacha. Give thanks, Sister Kashia, for putting that up there. So this is it's a question and it's interactive, but it's just not on the quiz. So you can still.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get into this first sentence. And as we're digging in, we're going to be joined by some of our special guests. So ultimately, everyone in Anu should belong to a homestead. So this takes me back to the last time Ima Precious and I did our SHEMA reading, and we talked about what a homestead is and the importance of a homestead. It's not just the structure that the family lives in, right? But it is comprised of it's a incubus, right? So it's a self-sufficient machine or entity that has land It has a working culture. It has structure. It is like, it's the safe house. It's all these things. It has, it will feed you, clothe you, shelter, right? That's what we're talking about. Those are the three most important things: food, clothes, and shelter. And that's what a homestead provides. So when we talk about ultimately everyone in our new being part of a homestead, that and it is the holder, right? Of it can also be that physical building that holds the family. Everyone should be part of that, because then we know everyone in our community has food, clothing, and shelter. And they have a structure, most of all, a culture that we live by that is shared. Because what is a family? It is, any group. It's a group in any society that consists of two or more individuals that share goals and objectives. So inside each homestead, we know that's what's there. Sister Maksha, Ima Precious, you want to share about everyone in our new being part of a homestead?
Well, okay. I'll share. I was, as you were sharing that, I was thinking about, just throughout the entire conversation on family, there has always been this underscoring the need for family, underscoring the need for family. And, everyone in Anu should belong to a family. I mean, we see should, but then you realize that if we are nation building and if we are patriarchy and it's all about lineage, then family is necessary. And it's an answer, right? Because we think about the world, and forgive me for forgetting the secular world, but we think about the secular world and how imbalanced it is. And you speak about Homestead and you called off a whole lot of things, right? Not things, a whole lot of critical necessities, right? Economy and all of these things. And some of it is missing, right? Some of it is missing. And what we find in the world is that there is a butchered idea of what family is or what a homestead is. You hear family and people present all of these one-sided, lopsided, half of, or incomplete, or representations of what they think family should be and is. And most times it does not reflect the Elohim. And we know within Anu, family is a recreating of that celestial group or the Elohim. So, important to think about and realize how important family is. Greetings, Aki Zach.
Greetings.
Greetings. How is everybody doing?
We are well. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. I said Jerome in the house. Watch my. All right, I'm sorry. Y'all had a whole vibe going. Let's rock and roll. It's serious.
Yeah, so so welcome. First off, welcome our first of I think one or two surprise guests today with us. Aki Zach, brother Zach. As the crowd roars. So we were actually just digging into, you're right on time. We were just digging into the first sentence, which says, ultimately, everyone in Anu should belong to a homestead. Sister Deidre and Sister Maksha just built on the idea of what that represents and what family means and what a homestead is within Anu. I'll just to contribute to the build, when I look at this first sentence, while it does say should, right? The reality is that we just spent almost 40 weeks, 40 strongs in family. Anu is all about 50. I stand corrected. Thank you for keeping count, sister. 50 strongs discussing family. That speaks for itself. I don't even think that anything else needs to be said about the value of family And through nation building, we can only do that by not just thinking we can squirrel off and just have, Abba and Ima and the youth, but that family is really about building that infrastructure that community is founded upon. And that comes by way of having homesteads and being close together as we do that. Peace, Chief. So yes. Did you want to add anything to that first sentence, Akizak?
No, just I'm finna totally wing it right here.
Welcome.
Yeah, family.
All that
It says should. Okay, you should. All right, I'm not gonna make it a mandate for you to, but look, you should be in a unit that's moving as a collective, cohesive unit. I know a lot of times, even this society that, especially in Western society, always talking about individuality and, you can do it on your own and you break away from the herd or break away from the pack and all of that. But you're strongest when you're in a group. Like you feel, even in the sense of having, let's say, even home field advantage. And when one has home field advantage of being their strongest around their own kind who was living the same culture, which even in the sense of we can start to look at ethics, and in one's ethics can be their cultural and historical backgrounds of where they came from. So now it's almost in a sense of who are you around majority of your time that's either going to make you step out of character and make you now do things that ultimately you do not want to do, or you are making you things that you're going to start to regret when you lay your head down on the pillow and like, what am I becoming? Or you're going to place yourself around individuals who are going to be moving and grooving in the same direction, which ultimately then now your ethics. There was a whole thing Chief did about replacing the word principle, key with principle. It was a long time ago. And it was a matter of your principles power the key. And as long as your principles are intact with with your group of family and your group of people that you're around, moving and grooving, then it helps to unlock the mysteries of the universe. So you can keep playing around with trying to be around a bunch of people that you do not know, trying to do things that are not working for you, and you're consistently working. It feels like you're working against yourself. Or you can get in tune with the group, get in tune with the family, get in tune with your natural self, and then start moving and grooving in that direction.
I think that the idea of being in tune with your natural self, right, spoke volumes, because family is just organically, as Sister Moksha said, making the connection to the Elohim. That's the charge, right? To be fruitful and multiply, and we have to be in a homestead and part of a family to do that. So, if there isn't anything else for that first line, I'll go into the next one. Yeah. Okay. So no individual should be left comfortless or without direction and guidance. So this was like super, kind of like, oh, of course. So of course, I can only speak from the perspective of being an Anu woman. And when I read this line, the first thing that came to mind was something that we've touched on quite frequently here. And that's the covering initiative. And the fact that every sister in Anu who is not necessarily, oh, you saw the chat, huh? That who isn't.
I learned from the best. All right?
Bring it. Just bring it. Listen, it's so fluid like water. That's it. But that idea of the covering initiative and, the value of family being so important, the value of headship and covering being paramount is why we have the covering initiative, where even if you are not mated, well, particularly if you are not mated, you have an Anu brother who covers and ensures that you're safe and ensure that you have that guidance and direction, which is comforting, right, in and of itself. So I want to give context to what that comfortless is, because when we think from a Western perspective, we may define comfort as many, many things. A warm blanket is comforting. And I know Sister Deidre touched on, that food, clothing, shelter, which we know is that foundational, structure for a hierarchy of needs. But the thing is, that is a comfort. Those are the basic comforts that we need. And so that's what the Covering Initiative does, and it connects to me with that line.
So go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, good.
Go ahead. Okay, so I just had a question from this sentence. It's like, and who are we allowing to determine our level of comfort and how we define comfort? You know, how are we judging our standards of comfort? So that's just like a question I'm gonna put, like an impromptu question in the chat.
Don't get in trouble now. All right, I muted myself. So I wanted to jump on the idea of the comfortless, because when you say there's so many things that we can think of when we hear the word comfort or comfortless, and I'm sure everyone kind of goes directly to the somatic, right? And as opposed to, really seeing how much of an ease it is when you, as a woman, you can move, but you're moving covered. Are you moving with instruction and direction, as opposed to, like feeling around in the dark, being unaware of how to function and how to move? And, I guess I'm just underscoring exactly what you said, Ema Precious. There's that constant, as a woman, there's constantly always questions. We are the chaotic force, right? And we are the force. But I think there's a piece in the Anui that speaks to the fact that the woman is force and the man is thought, right? So then you have the thought is like the inception of the idea, but then the force has to now take the idea, and you always say, Ema Precious, the multiplying, right? Or the bringing it forward, right? So if you don't know what that thought is, or you don't have a handle on what that purpose looks like, then it's kind of like, it's chaotic creation. You don't know what you're doing, and so that covering is supported. Go ahead.
No, pardon. I thought the breath was the period. I apologize. When you said that that thought, when you don't know what that thought is, that chaos, becomes more prevalent. But what about when you do know what that thought is, but disobedience is what's prevalent in you, right? So again, then that covering, whether it's an initiative or whether it's your mate, is no comfort, because you're not receptive. You're not, you're resistant to it. So I think that, again, comfort means many things to many people, but the value of being receptive and, personifying the qualities of what an Anu woman is charged with being, gives greater value, gives ultimate value to the meaning and what the Covering Initiative is all about, which is about giving direction and guidance, and that being done in such a way so as to ensure comfort and direction, and dare I even say safety.
When I look at this, Akilo, there you go.
Surprise.
One time for the one time.
Yeah, what's up? Peace. How you doing? How your mom doing? How you doing?
He comes in all sober and then just he's Akilo.
Yeah. So when I look at this, it almost is like summation a little bit of what the whole build has been for those 50 strongs. It's almost like I look at comfort as woman and the direction and guidance as man, and those two, one shouldn't be left without the other. So now it's in the sense of that comfort. I look at, and I go back to kind of what my mom used to do, is kind of that transformative kind of talk of, it's going to be all right. You're going to get it. You're going to do better. And that comforting voice that was, and I'm going to make you the best meal, and you're going to go up there and you're going to get it better tomorrow. And then my dad coming with that direction, and no, he sucked. He needs to do a whole lot better. And that's not what we stand for over here. Like, he's going to be all right. But it's, again, that interplay of the two that now is not one leaning so much on false praise or your ego stroking and you doing so well that now when somebody finally comes along and tells you that you're screwing something up, now all of a sudden you get hyper defensive. And then it's not so much as leaning on the other side where you're just getting your back kicked in and day out, and all of a sudden you think that you're not doing, y'all smiling, somebody must be saying something in the chat. It's not just getting your back kicked in every day, but ultimately having that balance. And when that comfort and that guidance and direction come together, it's that balancing act of that knowledge and the wisdom, which ultimately will give birth to the understanding. So when I look at that, that's kind of what I see deriving from that sentence right there. Y'all all just mute out and we'll be having this awkward silence.
I'll stay unmuted.
All right.
Give thanks. Chief has given us an answer. And so, yeah, the delay ain't that long. So give thanks, Chief, for answering the question. And I'm still waiting for those breakdowns of the word mishpacha.
Mm-hmm.
Those sentences.
I think Sister Kashia did give us one, though.
You did? Okay.
Yes. At about 6:46.
Oh.
Well, you know what? Why don't I just read it, right? Okay. So her response was flowing through the truth, fire, and proclaiming the vision. So give thanks for that.
Give thanks. So Chief Yuya's answer is, my first memory of comfort involved consolation from my mother. I would say her last attempts to fortify and console me were the finishing touches on my primary definition of comfort. Give thanks. Mm-hmm. I think that's right. It's that, and I think we had this build several strongs ago about like the mother, and it wasn't a public build, but about the comfort that a mother gives, like, you did well, baby, like you said, you did so well, and then here comes the truth. No, you didn't. But you do need, like, sometimes the mother has to console and maybe lie a little bit to the child.
Those babies do well. They do well. We don't even.
Ema. Yes, Ema.
Whether you've even seen the wellness or not, it could just be like soccer practice. You stand, you peer for 5 minutes. It's cold. It's like, you did amazing out there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I don't know.
So good.
Everybody get participation
trophy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about that part, but
you gotta earn it. Sister Deidre, I think you need to put some more towels in the bathroom in there. You got a loud echo.
You know what? Cutting up. Here we go. Cutting up.
Put some soundboards over the toilet or something. They might
already.
What's that? Hustle and flow. Some egg crates. Poor man's
the milk. Yes. Oh yeah, the egg cartons. Yep.
Come on, Brother Lowe.
So you know what? Just to get Aki Lowe up to where we are. So we're reading the second line of the final paragraph, and it says, no individual should be left comfortless or without direction and guidance. If you wanted to.
Yeah, I was thinking about the question that was asked, like, who really did do that for me? Like, like I really had to, like, who did? And I guess my answer would be I'll probably say my dad. He always provided that, I guess, comfort and direction and guidance, because sometimes I'll be in I guess a dysfunctional family relationship where I'll be wanting to cuss out my own mama, and then it'll be him that be like, low. He used to always come with these sayings, sometimes when I go off or I'm feeling bad or something going down with me, he'd be like, no, when you got your hand in the tiger, in the lion's mouth, you don't hit the lion. You pat that. I can't say what he really said, but you pat it. You pat it, you know, or he'll say, don't worry about that. Remember my mom used to tell me this all the time. I'm gonna tell it to you. The darkest hour comes right before dawn. And then just talking with him, I knew I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be cool. Everything's gonna be cool, because he was basically that reassurance that you already know who you are, because he would tell me, you know what I'm talking about. And I guess that's what I could always get from him. Like, you already know, you know. And he always expected more of me, you know. Everybody knows I'm smart, but he'd be like, I'm on straight A's, you know, something like that. Oh, you didn't give me straight A's, you know what I'm saying? Then what I finally do, he's like, you can do it. Told you could do it. Finally got my wish, you know. When I finally was able to make straight A's, I was like, yes, I can give it to him. I didn't care about what my mama thought. I thought, yeah, give it to him. And then, you know, I don't get much. Okay, you know, but but that was comforting, you know. I didn't need all the "it's okay, baby" and all that, but just to talk like, you're gonna be all right. Don't worry about that. You know you are, you know. So I guess that's what I got from that sentence. You know, everybody needs comfort and things, but I guess that masculine comfort made me know who I am and gave me more confidence, I would say. You know what I'm talking about? And I guess that's the thing that I was always grateful for when it came to my dad. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, I say that.
I have a question, if I may. What is put the hand in the mouth of the tiger and pet the lion? I almost said tiger, but it's actually lion. He said lion. You know, if you got your hand in the lion's mouth, okay, you don't hit the lion. You pet it. You pet it. I can't use cuss words because you know, I can't quote them verbatim. You know, but
you know what? I actually really appreciate you giving the perspective of comfort by a father, right, or a baba, just to reflect the balance, right? Just how great it is when structuring family the right way to have that balance of what that maternal comfort looks like as compared to, or in relationship with, because there is no comparison with that paternal comfort, because that is how it should be. So give thanks for that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go over to the chat real quick. So Ross says, for me, my biggest influence of comfort comes from my grandmother and grandfather. Yeah, the elders, you know, sometimes like I had that too. Like the elders, they do give you your comfort. Yeah, especially when mom and dad won't give you what you want, but that's manipulation a little bit. But give thanks. Sister Naya says, my culture is helping me to understand what comfort is and looks like. Being nurturing, I enjoy closeness and touch, but I understand having direction and guidance. Can you elaborate a little bit?
She read that out of a love language book or something.
You know, yeah. Yeah, so it's, I mean, definitely I'd love to hear her elaborate. But it seemed to be connected with what Sister Moksha spoke to, you know, us connecting comfort with that somatic experience, right? That that comfort comes through contact, proximity, touch, right? Closeness and touch, versus getting to an understanding of appreciating and value comfort by way of direction and guidance. And it is. Yeah. And even as a parent, comfort is often given by direction and guidance, and given that instruction. And you know, those, sometimes it's a whisper and sometimes it's a holler, but it's like given that information that they need to have, and making sure that it's tucked away and they know where to find it, is a comfort. Because when you need it, you know, as Aki Lo shared, right? That guidance was given by his father, and when he needed it, it was there long after the instruction was given. So yeah.
And even in the sense of staying along with masculine energy as far as bringing comfort. I was just thinking as well as it's comforting when the gate is guarded. It's comforting when you could just move and play and do whatever it is that you feel like doing inside, knowing that the perimeter is secure. It's not often that we sometimes look at that as might be comforting as a hand getting hit to somebody else and like, oh man, that's violence. But for one, it may be violent, but for somebody else, it may be comforting knowing that one is protected. Mm-hmm. And it was very comforting, even for me, in the sense that when I was in elementary school or middle school and anybody was picking on me or anybody was trying to bully me per se, I was going to get the junkyard dog. All right, y'all keep playing with me. Matter of fact, there was a time when I was walking home from school and I was like in the 3rd grade and there was some cats, 7th and 8th graders. So they was like huge compared to me, right? So I'm walking and a snowball hit me in the back of my head and then I just started crying and they started laughing and pointing like, ah, and everybody, and then my brother and sister were there and they were trying to like, oh no, it's going to buy. So as soon as my dad got home, told him the story, we got in the car, we drove over there and they was all outside playing. I said, yeah. He said, who did it? I pointed both of them jokers out. I don't know which one it was. And they started running like a track meet, right? So then I was like, yeah, now I'm back in the game. Now, anytime I ever seen them, they always apologize. They always was like, hey, anything that you need, can we help you out? That was very comforting, though, to know that somebody was, behind you and able to now have some protection where you can move and groove in the world. So that was a whole nother aspect with it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you say is it similar to like having that connecting force? Like how love is a connecting force?
I'm confused. Help.
So the comfort that you felt, like, I guess it's not the comfort, but like where it comes from. So the person that, kind of went out there and stood up for you when those other boys were throwing the snowball, like that person giving comfort, would you say it's because you have that connecting force? So is it coming from, love?
I don't know. I don't know if it was coming from love or it was coming from this is my son and I ain't gonna let nobody punk. Like we ain't gonna be no punks in the street. I mean, it could be. I don't know. But I know it was very comforting to know that I wasn't gonna get taken advantage of because I was connected to something that I felt like even when some people were like Holy Spirit activate. Holy Spirit, right? And whatever it is, but they feel like they're connected to something that's going to protect them. I had a real protector that I knew it wasn't there per se, but he was always there. And which always brought comfort. Now, it wasn't me just stepping out, and doing any type of thing that I felt like I wanted to do and putting myself and everybody else in some precarious situation. But nonetheless, when it brings a lot of comfort knowing that you are protected. There was even a piece that I read in a Mike Tyson book, which he was like at a table and some girl just got up and started bucking up. And I'm not saying that, whatever, but she just started bucking up on a dude. And he was saying how it was kind of funny to him. But again, she was only doing that because Mike Tyson is sitting behind her, right? So if you got a junkyard doll sitting behind you, you start to move with a boldness. Like there's something that you start to traverse through the world where it's like, I'm all right because I'm protected. And it brings you comfort knowing that even if I screw this up, this person is going to catch me. I already know they're going to catch me. Or even if you try me or you try to take advantage of me, this person is going to catch me. And knowing that this person is going to catch me, it brings a whole lot of comfort to one.
Give thanks. I think I left off Naya's second part to her comment. She says to keep me from going in a direction that won't benefit me is very comforting. And I can understand that because how many times are we get caught in cycles that keep us comfortable, and I am a perpetrator in that realm, like doing things that keep you comfortable, but they may not be the best thing for you, like whether it's actions or behaviors or the way you move throughout the day, because this is comfortable for me. This is what I know. But then sometimes you need that fire, right? The fire from the SHEMA, from that masculine energy to kind of give you the direction and knock you out of that comfort zone to put you into something else that is better for you.
And I even wonder, and I know this is a long time on this sentence, but there's so much to deliberate on it, right? And that's what we're charged with doing. But I wonder in your example, whether it's actual comfort that keeps you there, or it's lack of, thought or thoughtfulness. Because the reality is, when you're given that direction and that guidance and you realize, oh, this is actually better, that's actually comfortable, right? That's comforting. And dare I even say that the fact that it didn't actually come from your thought, but you just being obedient, is also yet another layer of comfort. Like, I don't have to figure it all out. Like, that didn't need to be the way. Not only did it not need to be the way, it was wrong. And it made me more uncomfortable than it did comfortable. So it's like, again, because we're speaking to everyone listening and everyone who listened to this, it's like, yeah, this is the way you're looking at things. And it's like, well, no, I'm comfortable. I don't even need to apply that. I knew it. Like, I'm not even interested in being sponsored. I'm good. No, you're not. No, you're not. But that, I was speaking to the special ones, that I just want to be clear. Give thanks.
Not y'all.
Not all y'all.
I wanted to, just as we were talking about comfort, and Zach was sharing, your story, that right story. I thought about how important it is to tie that comfort and direction back to homestead and family and bloodline, because then, it becomes a question about, well, not so much a question, but when we think about seeking comfort outside of the community and seeking comfort outside of the protection and the boundaries of the homestead, it can be dangerous, because now, and I'm saying that because we're having a public discussion, right? Open discussion. So it's really important to understand. I think I want to bring it back to 2 strongs ago. We were talking about, how important it is to recognize Anu as kin and kinfolk, and the need to constantly build bonds and, share space and so on. And, I'm just thinking about the implications of seeking comfort and direction outside of, and how critical it can be to make sure that we build up communication and build up families within Anu consistently, because if there's that space, then it means that we leave holes, right? We leave holes for seeking outside influence, and that can happen very, very easily if we don't build up relations, build up bonds, so that we can be comforting or offer comfort to each other.
I was trying to scroll through some of the comments so we can keep up.
Do you want to go through and read some before we shift
Yes.
to the next sentence?
Yes. So Chief says, along with you, Brother Lo, my Baba and uncles became my comforter in later years, because they understood my nature better than anyone else. The handoff occurred in my preteens. And this is related to what you were just talking about, Sister Maksha. Comfort can be in knowing you are secure underneath headship. Sister Shamanique, behold, this is the Mishpacha breakdown. Behold the vision of the divine waters that are protected by one mouth. I'm working out the equations. Okay, you come back to us when you got it.
One mouth, one voice. Yes, one voice.
Sharon the Joy says her comfort came from our mom and dad, but in different ways. When I got hurt, my mom was there to hug or wrap up my wounds, but I was always comforted when my dad came back from work. I felt safe. I had those two waiting up for dad, and it's like, okay, everything's all good now. Chief says, in regards to Zach's example, it models what is expected of men. At some point, we may be required to be the lion roaring over the head of our cubs making others aware of our commitment to ours. Good thing. Good thing. Okay, almost. Two more. One more. Later on, the level of comfort was defined by Western culture, which has proven to be incompatible and damaging.
Mm-hmm.
Because she says, my comfort came from my parents. My father always gave lessons in between music, karate, or biblical lessons. From my mother, she was the wound healer, problem reporter to dad, and defender at school. Good things. Okay, let's get on to the next sentence.
All right, so I think that's me. As the head Jagna of Anu provides leadership and guidance to the men of Anu, the men of Anu should serve in the same function for the women and children of Anu. And so, when I read this over and over, I kept thinking about the hierarchy and the flow of authority as well, from Yah to the man, and from the man to the woman, and the woman to children. So just important to think about the connection. I think we've been talking about it for this long, so I don't know how many different ways we can highlight the importance of recognizing that flow of authority, and how important it is to actually have brothers who receive from eldership, and they're able to take on that authority and take on that instruction and pass it on to women in their homestead, or pass it on to women in the community rather. So that's one of the points I wanted to bring out.
I love that idea of serve, that the men, should serve in the same function. So it speaks again to, yes, the men are the head of the homestead, or the men are the head even, and the women the body, or the woman the body, or women the body. But in that act of service, there's reciprocity. So there's never a stagnant, energy. As you're receiving, you're then also pouring into. And as we, the women, receive, we in turn pour into the younger women and servants and youth. And so again, reflecting the hierarchy that you referenced. The other thing that came to mind for me, in that sentence, is from Solutions for Dysfunctional Family Relationships, that the example given there of Baba Freeman and his role, offering that guidance and that headship, and that leadership even, to Nile, and just watching how that relationship worked, and how Nile, used that to guide to guide how he navigated entering into courtship with and mateship with Kenya. So if you haven't read that, that was just a very brief overview, but get it and read it. It's good.
And I want to even go back to what kind of what Lo said, and what Chief had put in there, of the comforting that he got from some of his elders, right? And I was thinking of the history, right, of now having all of that information deposited into Chief, which now can be deposited into someone else. And that history now is going to be one's coping mechanisms of how they move in the world. So how do you deal and solve with certain problems? This is how we deal with this. This is how you deal with that. As opposed to just winging it. Hey. Yeah. Talking to myself now. As opposed to just winging it, though, and being hopeful that this works out, or being hopeful, or repeating some of the same old mistakes. And like, here we go. I know. Oh man, how am I going to do it? No, here's a blueprint. Right now, it doesn't mean that mistakes won't happen. It doesn't mean that something is not. But the whole, I guess, idea behind it is just to make new mistakes. And that now when somebody else comes behind you, or you start deposit everything that you know into somebody else, like, here we go, now this is how we can deal with this is how we can move with this, so we're not constantly behind the 8 ball of moving in the world of now trying to deal with each other before we can now deal with, you know, how the world is perceiving or how the world is attacking one and the family unit. So yeah, I think that's just very important to have somebody who is further ahead, man, just further ahead on the path, who is already scattered. You know what? Don't eat that right there, because that thing can kill you. Right? That's a poisonous berry, or that's a poisonous leaf. So now you already know I'm gonna stay away from that. Now, hard-headed people, nah, man, I know I'm good. I got a stomach like iron, or whatever the case may be, and they're gonna start making up all these little sayings of why they don't need to be in a family unit, or why they don't need to listen to somebody who's further along the path. But ultimately, they're gonna have to face that karma. Now, it may not be today, and it may not be tomorrow, but you're gonna face it at some point.
Oh, I would say it's always good to have someone further along the path, because they probably see more than you do. They probably see the grander picture of things, and whereas some people think they doing it with their own little schemes, you know, or they chilling circuit hustles, you know what I'm talking about. You know, they don't see the grand scheme of things on life, or knowledge and wisdom, or how they can further their path, to where it's just not about the present, but also about the future, where you're living more for the future than the present. You know, it's not about living paycheck to paycheck. And now it's like, you know, what's the next investments, you know, for the next 5 years, or the next, you know, quarter, or things like that, you know. So, and I always enjoy, you know, Chief being further on the path than me, just for the simple fact that he always shows that there's always another way. You know the saying, there's always more way to skin a cat, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes when, you know, you only see one side, it's reassuring to have someone further on the path say, oh, there's always another, you know, you can also do it like this, or you can also do it like that. And you'd be like, man, I didn't think about that. You know, I didn't see that from that viewpoint or something, you know, and things like that. So, I mean, and then I also thought, you know, I always relating things to a movie or something, and then, you know, Lean on Me came in my head. You know, the trouble with being a teenager is you don't know nothing. The problem with being a teenager is you think you know everything more than people that have been down the path before you. You understand me, son? You know, used to love that scene when they on the roof. But yeah, I thought about that one as well. So, you know, yeah, that's all I got. I'm done.
Is that, you said there's more than one way to skin a cat? Is there more than one way to get your hand out that cat's mouth?
Yeah, there could be. You know, you can pat the head, you can pat the, you know, you can pat the tail, you know, you could dangle some daggone fish, probably, you know, to make you eat that and not your hand, you know. So of course there's probably more than one way, but that's the only way my daddy told me. So you got a problem with that, Zach? Huh?
I ain't got no problem. Just asking, brother. Just asking.
Cutting up.
Thank you. Toda.
Okay.
Toda.
So we're at the midst of the passage, and so we can do our quiz now, or we can wait until later. I will hear from the council in front of me to let me know what you think. We're in the chat.
I wanted to quickly say with the last sentence that we read, how, you know, as you all shared, and Aki, Zach, and Akilo, I kept thinking about how that flow of instruction and authority and example flows in the community, and then you have young men, young boys, they're able to see that interaction, you know. So it's almost like that example is a living example for them, so they kind of grow up knowing their place in the community, knowing who they'll be receiving instruction from, and you know how it flows. I like, just as you were talking and sharing the examples, as like we could literally see it, I could literally see it. So.
Thanks for those comforting words.
I knew you were gonna put that up there. You're too funny, DJ.
More on one.
Don't read it. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's in the show, actually.
What?
In one of when you're sitting on the beach, and it was right, and he said that.
Oh, really? That's from a show? Oh.
Yep.
I guess I can't.
And it was talking about the meditate like a Sith Lord. That's what it is. And it was when they were fighting, and I think it was Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then the other one of them went into meditation when the line or whatever thing came down, and then the other one was pacing back and forth before it came back up, and they were fighting. Come on, Lo.
You talking about it's not, well, it was Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it was Qui-Gon Jinn, and he was facing Darth Maul, you know what I'm talking about. And wow, basically force field went up every time they fight, you know what I'm saying, time force field. And so while Qui-Gon Jinn is meditating, Darth Maul just pacing back and forth like, I'm mess you up, but he got that look right, like you about to get this work, but then the force will go back, then they go back to lightsaber fighting and whatnot, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I know what you're talking
about. All right, my man.
Mm-hmm.
What is a gat?
Did she say what is a gat?
Yes, what is a gat?
What is the who?
It is the slang, no slang term for a gun, pistol, a gat. Very old term. Late 20s. They used to say gat or something like that. Or the way
isn't it Gatling? Like Gatling?
Yeah, Gatling gun, but that too.
Brooklyn.
But they just used to, say it in the Warren 20s. During the Depression. So yeah.
What's the Gatling? Like this one here?
I think it's the old.
Yes, the Gatling gun. What was the term, because it turned with the barrels. There was the clip that it had, or you had the drum. To reload it and things like that. But yeah, that's what they were using. So yeah, you're right.
Interesting.
That was for you, brother. Love.
Yes, that's true. The music did play in my head.
Actually, during that scene, it's dang. What was, man, that whole orchestrated music? It was called something, because it used to come on MTV, like the whole video, So it wasn't the opening theme. It was something else. It had like a whole choir and whatnot, And when you heard that song, dude, it was going down, like they about to fight. Oh, but it's about to pop off, So yeah, we ain't talking about the opening thing, G. We talking about oh, it's go time, But the music was good.
Right, you taking footage, boo. You ain't shooting nothing.
I did do that. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's funny.
I did. It was a silent film. It was a short silent film. Sorry. Okay. Back to business. Okay. So the next sentence is, we are a movement of families. I don't really have too much words for that, because it is very, it's like a mic drop sentence. We have gone over for 50 strongs. That's 2 strong shy of an entire year. We have been doing family. And if at this point it's not clear that Anu is a movement of families, I don't know what else to tell you. We spent 50 weeks explaining it. So I'm going to leave that open to the floor. Do you have anything, brothers and sisters, you want to share on that? I honestly think it's a mic drop. We are a movement of families.
That's it.
That's it. No?
So I'm
What
on
just
to the
happened
next
right there?
Oh,
That means you do not watch us.
Emma Precious did that little clap, she did that little cute clap like
That's it.
you
That means you don't watch
was
all
not
the
fighting.
time.
You did that little clap. That's it. You was the prom queen and everything. Yep. Rich glamour girl from Brooklyn. Yep, that's you.
No, okay, that's not accurate.
You was the ringleader of Mean Girls and whatnot.
I might have been a ringleader for Mean Girls, but that's not what it wasn't. Mean Girls though. We were just some Mean Girls. That means that you all, so now I have to share the backstory. So That's It was not mine. It was a friend of mine. Go on, tell him, Sister Teacher. It was a girlfriend of mine. And so whenever it was like, I'm done talking, she would clap and say, "That's it." So that's what that was. It's like mic drop. That's all.
Because we did not want to continue using Sister Marsha's catchphrase again.
We had to come up with our
Mic
own.
drop again. So we had to come up with our own.
Okay.
Right. That means you do not watch.
Y'all ain't watching us.
Not watch us.
But
That ain't-
what if people still have questions about the fact that it says movement and not organization? What happens then?
Let's ask them. Do y'all have questions? Chief says a movement of family is a nod to the nomadic Shemites of old. Older Judaism was never considered a religion, but rather an identification of a way of life of certain nomadic clans. Give thanks. I wanted to
And before we move on, like while this is up on the screen, the idea of movement and nomad, the relationship, I should say, right? Because we know no word is wasted. So the idea of movement and nomad, and just what that looks like, that we're always doing, that we're always flowing, that we're kind of, creating an environment that supports fluidity and growth and expansion. Like, that's the dopeness of us being a movement of families. So it's not one unit doing this, it's all these different units doing it at the same time. And I think a perfect example of that is, the shift. Well, one, SHEMA started out with a few of us, and then it evolved, and then it grew and expanded. And now we have like the whole family here tonight. Another example is the shift to even include Clubhouse, or now I'm a blank on the other one in the middle of my, thank you. I'm a blank in the middle of my little promo plug. Discord. Right. See? Vibing. You gotta do that. So anyway, I just think that idea of nomad and movement just, came to mind. So we might not be like, flowing through the desert at this moment, but there's a constant fluidity that we're charged with navigating with and through.
And I think that even goes back with, what Chief had just said, there's more than one way to shoot a gat. And whatever it was, I don't remember. Skin a cat, that's what it was. Yeah, one way to skin a cat. Yeah, that piece. This speaks to a movement, and even in this piece that you have up, never considered a religion. So you're like, it's not stuck where no, it has to look like this. And if it doesn't look like this, then you're not on the same page. And we all got to be doing the same thing. No, that's not it. As a movement, things may not look exactly the same, but ones are still moving in the same direction and reaching for that same light that's above one's head. So I think it just on that movement piece is not crystallizing oneself in a certain psychology or a certain standpoint when they're like, no, I can't move from here. But actually being flexible and being mobile and knowing that in order to get from one side to the other, or in order to reach or climb a mountain, because after I climb this one, then there's going to be another one that's going to come. I may not be able to use the same tools that got me up this mountain as the next. I don't know what y'all, everybody laughing. What's the problem? That's the problem.
Shamanique cutting up on you. Shamanique cutting up on you. Oh boy.
Oh, I thought that was it.
No, I can read that one. It's funny. That's it. Definitely some smart mouth Brooklyn female talk with gum popping, bamboo earrings. Yeah, maybe spitting some sunflower seeds, and maybe a pickle in like the little plastic bag with the juice that used to be in it. Perhaps. What I'll add is that she was also Latina. So that's why the that's it is like with the little accent. So yeah, that's all accurate.
Yes. Oh, I think this was it. Skin a gat?
Yes. That's what we were laughing at.
Whatever. All right, you get the point. You know what I'm talking about.
We got you.
Like, you know what I'm talking about. Come on, Lou.
We know.
Like, they know what I'm talking
we
about.
got you.
We got you.
I don't know what you talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I've always known that it's been more than one way to skin a cat. That's what everybody I've known used, you know, and there is more than one way to shoot a gat. I've known because I've seen it done, you know, in many different forms with many different body parts. So yes, there is more than one way to shoot a gat. So I don't know what you talking about. What is you talking about?
Oh, so you can't polish your tool that's on the side. Sometimes you can go in a circular motion, counterclockwise. You can go in a different way. Like, no, there's nothing, huh?
I don't know what you talking about. I'm gonna leave you alone. You try to set me up. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it.
Oh, you know, I'm here to help. You know, I got you back now. I got you back. But sometimes, you know, when you talk like that, I gotta be like, no.
That's fair. All right.
Well, I'm going to go into the next line so that we stay out of trouble. All right. So we always need doers of family and not chatterers of family. Again, while it's clear. I think the perfect example, or there have been several perfect examples of this, is when we have SHEMA and we're talking about family and we're talking about nation building, and Chief interjects with a question in the chat that says, if you had 60 days, 90 days to squat up and to come together and to form family or to begin to enter into courtship, are you ready? Are you in a position to do that? So it's about the doing of family, because we can stay on here for another 52 strongs. Yes, at 50, just for you, Akizak. 52 strongs and talk more about family, but who would have done family in that time? It's through the doing of the work that we really actually shine and reflect what the reality of said work is, not through the talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, she had her hand a doobie. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by this. Yeah, she had a doobie with the pins. Let's not talk about chancleta anymore. Okay.
I got what you. I understood what you saying. So maybe I can understand that accent. Whatever.
Huh? What you talking about? What you talking about? I'm talking about something in the chat. You know I get distracted.
I was like, I understood you.
You did understand me. Good.
I understand that accent. Brother Lo, when you were talking, I thought.
Oh, he's on mute.
All I said, no, I was looking at the chat. I was like, she probably was cute too. You know, always hand in her hand, whatnot. You're like, Maria. Maria, you stupid. You know. Every time she comes around, you know, you got Selena in the background playing or something, you know. So, but yeah, that's what I was talking about. But That's why I was on mute. So so yeah.
You meant Maria or Medusa? Because that sounds like somebody that's gonna get you totally screwed up.
See Zach. Here we go. Here we go.
Come on. Was that her hair or was those snakes that were coming out of the top of that head? What is that?
I don't know. That was my friend.
She had a doobie. It was her hair.
It's a wrap.
It was a doobie wrap.
Yeah, but even when I look at that, it was just with the whole sense of doers, it's like you could speak about something, but what is your action aligned with what is actually coming out of your mouth? Mm-hmm. Or I mean, it's very easy to grab a microphone and you start preaching and saying, you know, this is what you should be doing, and this is what it should look like, and this is what y'all should. But are you modeling it yourself? Are you doing it yourself? So that therefore it goes back to the 14 keys where it's you're not extending a bridge that you haven't walked across yourself, because you don't know if that bridge can bear the weight of your own. But now you're going to tell somebody else. But yeah, go ahead. Go and walk out there. And I'm telling you, it'll work. How do you know? You don't know, because you haven't been a doer of the work. And when one becomes a doer of the work, the information becomes totally different, because now it becomes alive and active. So now it's like, nah, man, I'm giving it to you straight up, because I got wounds here. And now I'm telling you not something that I think or I believe. I'm telling you something that I know. And
yeah, it's like the equation: knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is incomplete. You know, knowledge without wisdom is dead, you know, because you don't get to that next part. And when you just have that knowledge and it's like all that chattering, it becomes corrupted information that just sits inside of you, and it eventually means nothing that can help no one.
Yeah, and that was, I'm sorry.
I was done. Sorry.
Oh, no, I didn't know if anybody else wanted to talk. That's why. No? Okay. It was something, all these other shows that Chief has done starts popping in my head. This is why. But there was one, I think he was sitting, he was like, what do you, the information whoring, in a sense, right? And just what you said of breaking that cycle of basically not letting it flow through you, where you're actually, okay, now this is what I'm gonna live this information, so that now it becomes alive. I'm just gonna hoard and hoard and hoard. But now, just like if I just keep eating and eating and eating, but I'm not digesting and actually passing whatever it is, then now I become toxic. And one can get very, even in another sense, one can become very egoic when they start learning a certain amount of information, but not actually living it, which is like, now I can have more compassion for others because I understand what you're going through, as opposed to just information whoring and taking it in and taking it in and taking it in. I know this and I know that and I know this and I know that, and now y'all can't tell me anything, so I'm going to tell you this and I know it. It's like, nah, man, if you was actually being doers of the work, then now you would notice when others are not doing the work. You would notice when people need a helping hand doing the work, or, you know, a more comforting word when they're doing the work. But it all just depends on where one is at and what are they actually doing in their own walk.
And, you know, when you're doing the work, it is you're so less likely to attract those who just want to chatter. Right? So they may hold on for a season or two, but in the active motion, they grow weary. And so I think that's a part of the sifting. I'm confident that is a means by which to sift out those special ones. Again, even just thinking about how many strong we've been in family. We're still here. We're not weary. It has to be, this has to be, we are a movement of families. So that's the example. It's like, yeah, Yeah, no, I'll leave it there.
That's it.
I didn't want to say it again. Thank you, partner. Thank you.
But like you just said too, though, it's almost like what some people use the old analogy, the sprint and the marathon, right? And it's easy. The gun sounds, and I can start running, and I'll stay with the pack for a little bit. But it's just a matter of now how committed am I? Because as they keep going, did I really start to now use this information to make it now expand my own circumference of what I know, or did I just take it and then thought that I can run with the bulls now, and then all of a sudden they still going, and now I'm like, slow down. No, what was you doing? You wasn't doing anything with it, and now it's starting to weigh you down. It's starting to slow you down. And then now there must be something wrong with everybody else, because there can't possibly be anything wrong with somebody who's got the information. So guess what? I'm just gonna jump off. I knew for a little bit, and it was all right. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my other thing now, because they're going in a different direction. No, you just couldn't keep up, because you weren't doing anything, and you didn't really want to commit yourself to the information and be a doer of the work. You just wanted to consume the information so you can be the smart and deep one. But then all of a sudden, when you find out that everybody else is just as smart or as smart as you, then now we have a problem. Yeah.
And that makes you uncomfortable.
Oh. And now they're looking for more comforting words.
A blanket. They just want a blanket.
They took my blanket.
You know what? I know, like we're gonna share with everyone else here, but I wanted to just say something. That idea of the sprint versus the marathon, and the connection to just hoarding information, and doing nothing with it. I thought that was like such a great example. And in an effort to support what you come on here and actively personify by logging in and just saying, all right, I'm just going to flow with it, speaks to you not just having it on you, but in you in such a way that you can draw from reference after reference after reference and give it right out and have it flow perfectly and seamlessly in the discussion. And that can be said for all of us, because right now, even if we had a script gone, because there's 5 of us up here building, right? So the reality is we ain't have a script because we don't need a script, because it's in us.
Yeah.
Period.
There was nothing.
It's more improvisation than anything,
That's, you take a hold of the information and you run with it. It ain't just like, give it to me. What you got? Give it to me, man. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna use it. And that's what you see. That's what everybody sees in front of you, with everybody sitting there. I'm just not gonna sit there and I can recite a couple of them. No, I'm gonna consistently. Okay, let me listen again. Because then when I go back and listen again, there's something else you might hear out of the same sentence, or even like as we deliberating the sentences in what we're reading right now. It's like, I see something else over here. I see something else over here. And then you can revisit it again and be like, there's something else that I see in this, which ultimately is that movement now. It's forever growing and forever expanding, because it can have double, triple entendres.
I wanted to add, before you go to Chief's comment, please, I wanted to quickly add, Brother Zach, you spoke about, people not being able to hang and leaving, but, something that has always stayed with me, I think Chief has shared this on a segment before, and it may seem simplistic, but, from just our previous experiences, realize sometimes we align with communities or movements or organizations, and these organizations have no standing families, right? The leadership has no family, and many may come into Anu and leave, and they may leave with the information and share, but if there's no family, then it's not going to expand. It's not going to take root at all. And I think that's, that's the value of this community and Anu as a bloodline, right? Seeing the need for that combining of the thought and the force to lead to the idea of expansion, right? Or transcendence, so to speak, or man, woman, and giving birth to children. That's important because that's what brings the community to the next, era of evolution. And others can leave and they could leave with the information, but it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to take root at all. So I think there's value. You could come with your basket and leave with it full, but then again, it's filled with broken ideas and concepts, and not necessarily the fullness of and value of the knowledge here. So
Right.
Yeah.
That whole give. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, it gets stagnant, and eventually you run out of goodies in your basket, and then what?
Or they get stale.
And then you're in that barren place again, right? Denial is the good place to live. You can afford the rent. Barrenness.
Right. That whole give to get though. Like, are you coming in just to get, and I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get that, or I'm going to actually give in order to receive? So I'm gonna show some reciprocity. So instead of me just coming in thinking that I have these great talents and I'm going to add on, which is in the Anu way as well. Well, or just thinking that, there's some magic pill that's in here that's going to fix my problem, and then I can just waltz down the street and go back to doing what I was doing. Or really, when it comes down to it, do you give a damn about other people? Really? Like, do you have a heart for other people? Because if you have a heart for other people, and sometimes one will ask the question, well, how can I help? Well, then the question should ask is, how can I help best? And help best would be, okay, sometimes there's some negative things that need to be taken away. Sometimes there's some things that need to be added. But now, can I properly do that with others if I can't properly do it with myself? So if I haven't walked across this saying, if I haven't been a doer of this work, well, then how can I possibly give it to anybody else properly? So I think that it's sometimes one just has to see what, even I've seen a lot of people who have come in I knew and then left very, very selfish or very self-centered, or not self-centered, self-absorbed, and and sometimes just not thinking that when you see these people on this screen who are putting in the work, but sometimes like, oh, well, maybe I can't be seen. No, people see you. We're just going to hold your hand for a little bit to try to bring you along if you can't. But again, we're going to still keep running. And then it gets very thin up there. We're breathing that air, breath of God's. Yeah. Yeah.
So I know you're going through the shares, but are we going to do? We have to dig into the question that you posed, right?
Yeah.
Let's get it. We got the answer.
Mm-hmm. So, with all the family talk, who has seen the experience as being more intimidating than they did before? I do, because like one of the first, I think it's like in the first line in family, it's one of the most important decisions you'll ever make in your entire life. And that's only second to choosing like which God to serve. And I think coming out of like Babylon or Western thought, you're not moving like that. At least I didn't. I speak for myself. I didn't move like that. It's like, you get married and have kids. Choosing a mate is important. You can't just choose anybody. And the choosing of the mate goes by, what you're exhibiting on your internal, because then it exudes. And that's how, you even match up with your proper mate. It says that we have to be with our rightful mate, or, we match up with, and that's what mate means. It means to match. So how many couples, I don't know, couples and duos, or whatever you want to call it, are really truly unmatched? And how would I have been unmatched had I not come into a new understanding of what really should be happening in my own life? How many people have moved? And that's where you get your cross-cultural unions, because it's not truly a matching. Family is really important. It's not just a haphazard, oh, I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
Yeah. And did were you going to say something? I'm sorry. No. Just to add to that or to answer, yes, I'll answer. Yes, very intimidating because you start to think about too. There's some, I don't want to say old, but there's some ancient segments. It's the same thing. There's some older segments on the alpha male and the alpha female, and she like really gets into the conversation around, yes, selecting a mating or a partner or pairing, but then also man or woman assessing self and thinking about, who gave birth to us, or genetic lineage, or genes, the chemicals that have affected us, and how those things, the implication of those things in us finding mates and aligning with each other. I mean, let me know if am I making sense? Am I making sense? Brother Zach face looked like, what are you saying? And for a minute, I'm like, the question just took me all the way back because family structure really keeps underscoring again how important it is to make a decision on who you mate with, and there's we have to see, listen with our eyes and really discern things, and we're instructed to also pay attention to how each other move around seasons and how we move around other people, and there's just so much to have to take up, right, and observe during that period of time, whether it's outside of courtship and just aligning with community, but it's all a representation of pulling and picking and observing um, everybody's movement in order to make that decision. So I think it can be intimidating when you think about all of what goes into it. But it is comforting that there is a protocol. It is comforting that there's, a community that says that these are the standards that we should all be striving to be and then looking for. So
Yeah, I'll be I'll take the count. I'll take the other perspective because that's where I sit. I don't find, when I read The Anu Way for the first few months, I was hecka intimidated by all of what I was expected and charged with being. Even just the idea of that even being me was so I doubted it. I highly doubted that I was any of the things in there. That said, now I'll say that it was absolutely liberating, and it wasn't at all intimidating. Isn't right now. What we've gone through over these 50 strongs really has been what I perceive as the blueprint for how to do family, and how to be family, and particularly, as an Anu woman, there's we've shared and we'll continue to talk about those contours, and I just love that word. But not just the word, I love the idea of how Western culture has bastardized a word like contour and made it about makeup and body shapers, and which is all an illusion, right? And in reality, what our contours are, or being able to have those contours etched and carved out, number one, no, it's not a painless or pain-free process to have your contours carved out or your boundaries established. But I think, much like those women who can, I guess, maybe relate to the idea of how those tools or those manipulatives are used to trick people into thinking that you are what you aren't. The beauty about these sort of contours is that in it you find your true structure. This is what I am. I am an Anu woman and this is what she is. And in accepting that and in personifying that, it's kind of like, well, yeah, of course I'm to be mated. Of course I'm to have a big fly family that just does cool things. So yeah, but you get there through like sober assessment, through the sobriety of truth, through that we open with that. Hold on, I literally, if I show y'all my notes right now, it's worse than an envelope. I'm gonna do it because I'm always like, so wait a minute. Does Akilo have on glass? Did he go and switch up?
Well, I can't.
Holla. Yo, this is about to straight up come out. Like, what's a guan, Bridget? Where did that come from?
What are those?
And then I look over and I'm like, he came on camera and came back on like Clark Kent. Like I'm looking for my family.
No, actually, I started seeing things, so I was like, okay, time to put these on.
You should have let me stick with my story. Just say yes. I'm looking for family.
This is not American Tale. Who are you looking for? I'm looking for my family. He's looking for his family.
I'm sorry, yo, you just completely. Okay, I'm gonna gather. Wait, what is this? Okay, all right. Whew, that was. Yo. What I was saying is, well, a matter of fact, I'm done. After that, I'm all good. That's
you were going to
my
show us your notes.
What?
Okay, what I was saying is, I remember a segment where Chief was again flowing and freestyling and shared that he had stuff jotted on an envelope.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so hilarious that I actually like poke fun at that idea one time. And so I'm going to, in alignment with us being charged to show that, we're not always all put together. So what's this, y'all?
Is that
a paper towel?
Oh, I said, is that toilet paper?
It's one. No, it's not toilet paper. It's one rung up from the toilet paper. It's my paper towel that my water was sitting under because we're flowing. And so I just kind of jot things down as we go along. But what I was going to say is it's about that fire. So us being water, we require that fire as a purifier, that sun and that heat. And it's not always comfortable, but it's beautiful in the end because you know that your waters have been cleaned and you're covered appropriately. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And just with it, when you said that contour and that shape, and it made me think of working out, right? And one could try to get that shape the quick way by trying to put a waistliner on or trying to put on something else to define that shape, or one could submit to the moment. And submitting to that moment of, what, I'm gonna have to do this Stairmaster for a little bit, or I'm gonna have to run on this treadmill for a little bit, or I'm gonna have to do something in this moment that's not going to necessarily feel good in the moment, but ultimately it's going to now start to have that shape carved out, or that contours, which you kind of were speaking about, so that therefore now it's alive and active and being a doer of the work, as opposed to me just looking for a quick fix to get me by, to really not really submitting to the doctrine or submitting to what has been put in front of me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will add on to that. Like, it is intimidating in a sense because a lot is more, lots more expected of you that even your parents didn't even put on you, or your grandparents didn't put on you, in a sense. You know what I'm talking about? And now you have to think about more, not just finding someone, but how to build and what are you building, and not just in that moment, but also 5 generations. Let's just say 5 generations. You know what I'm saying? You have to think like that. And then sometimes you have to think like, okay, where am I leading this person to? Where am I going? You know, what directions am I going to give in that moment? What am I going to do to here? Where are we taking this? Where do I want them to go in 20 years? You know, how do I see this in 20 years? Things like that. And then it also goes to brand building. You know, what brand do I want to build, and then what brand do I want my family to have or to represent, and things like that. And when you've never thought about that, it can be intimidating. Like, what am I doing? And then sometimes, you know, like me personally, sometimes it's like, man, I really want to get it right. I don't want to mess up. You know, usually, you know, when you mess up, people laugh at you. So I don't want to be laughed at. I don't, you know, fear of being judged or whatever, you know, and making mistakes in that moment. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, yeah, it's definitely intimidating. But that's all I got with it. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. See, y'all want to talk about Nutty Professor and whatnot. I got you.
You know what? That was so perfect.
So this-
Chief, I'm just gonna put this comment up here. I thought it was really interesting. That's as we were talking about like families and to Sham the Joy's comment in the chat, and also relating to the question, CDC statistics share that the most commonly reported causes of divorce are lack of commitment, infidelity, and conflict. And I think like that speaks volumes when we talk about cross-cultural unions, like, you know, lack of commitment, the conflict part, cross-cultural unions. You're having that constant battle for supremacy or dominance, and only one will triumph.
Or even that first piece where it says lack of commitment. I mean, even when it goes back to Anu, can one even commit to or even honor the word of what they said that they were going to do when they first started out? Or as soon as they feel a little burn, I'm out of here. I quit. Like my man in the Temptations, before they got going, he just kept quitting. I'm out of here. I quit until finally they pop, and then they looking at the TV like, oh man, I should have stuck with them. I should have stayed with it. But again, is there a commitment to honoring your word, of honoring what you said you were going to do? Or are you going to have infidelity on yourself? Are you going to cheat on yourself, saying, you know what, I know that I said I wasn't going to do that, but, you know, I'm going to sneak and do it anyway. I said I was going to now lose a couple pounds, but I'm going to eat these Oreos anyway, right? I'm cheating on here. So now if you can't commit and be solid with yourself, well then how can you commit and be solid with anybody else? But again, that's that burn that you're going to feel when you come in here. It's like, okay, now you're going to be doers of the work, and if you can't do it and commit to it, well then now that's going to bring on conflict. Because why y'all so bad? Why y'all on me all the time? Why y'all trying to, you know, say that I'm not doing that? Why y'all saying that my camera is off? Why y'all saying that this and that and da? Yeah, we're going to have some conflict because other people are working. And it ain't just you sitting in the canoe while everybody else is rowing. You're going to get you a paddle and you're going to start working, because you're going to be doers of the work. So that therefore now you can hold yourself up. So nobody is not just offering you a crutch all the time, so you can remain crippled. So.
I think that's a good way to a good segue, into the next sentence. Faith without works is dead, you know. Definitely. And it makes me think about faith as the 14 keys, that faith is a dive. So if we're talking dive, we're diving into waters, and if you don't backstroke, butterfly or something, you're dead. It's reality, right? I just think about you jumping off of a, oh my gosh, what do you call it? The landing. What do you call the landing?
Who is this?
You said something that activated the listener.
recognize your voice.
She
Go to the home app
she
to
doesn't know
recognize
you. She doesn't recognize your voice or anything. Access denied. Boo. I'm gonna mute out so she doesn't hear anything.
Oh my God. But that, I just thought about that as you were speaking and sharing. I just thought of a diver jumping off and just taking that deep dive into the abyss, but just floating on a wing and a prayer, right? Or floating on faith. I mean, we know faith is a knowing, but you can move off of a knowing but not actually do and jeopardize your own life. We can do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Before I even move to the next comment, we could flow even to the next sentence because those two are related. The work, like what is the work? And it's to recreate the structure of Yah on earth. And so that's like a circle back to what was said in the very beginning. Our job is to be that reflection of the Elohim on earth. It is man, woman, child. We're supposed to be that. We have a whole hierarchy in our declarations of truth. The breath of life flows from Yah into the man, into the junior man, then into the woman, junior woman, and then children. So there's a whole pattern that we are charged to follow. And in following that pattern, we're doing the work. If we actively follow that pattern, we're doing the work. Move to the chat if there's nothing else to add. Okay,
I'm moving my lips and nothing's coming out because I'm muted. Okay. So active, you said, Sister Deidre, that activity again, it just takes me back to the movement, right? And just acknowledging that it's all about the building of family and reflecting. I don't want to say awesomeness, but that's what's coming to me. The awesomeness of personifying the Elohim, right? Because, I mean, I'm just going to say it. So many enter into the whole conscious realm, and we are not that, right? Running away from the Bible and scripture, and and all that, and all that's therein. So for us to be here and to like really strive, I'll say, to embody the awesomeness of the Elohim is transformative in that it ain't that. It ain't, what is it? Holy Spirit activate.
Oh.
It ain't that. That's what it's not. Where your glasses that low? Fix some eyes. Fix some eyes.
You still see
something's in the chat. What happened?
Yeah,
I don't know what that was.
Oh, no.
It's gone.
I don't know. All right, so we do have some chatter in the chat.
Yes.
So our visitor Rock says, I can relate to Aki Lo when it relates to not wanting to fail. I feel I have started the work by teaching other students in my class what I've learned from Anu. Where you at, Rock? Or where you at? Calls like this show make me really know close to nothing and motivates me to continue to learn, but also scary at the same time. Chief says, oh, that's the wrong one. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know. He says, throw that sucker out the canoe. You can't re-raise anyone. Their parents and their own choices are the source. Invite them to work, and if they don't leave, let them be. We're not perpetual evangelists. I think that was something to one of us was saying.
With the canoe.
The canoe,
yeah,
okay.
The rowing. What is it? Take an oar, right? I don't know. I know nothing about sports, but it's an oar, right? Paddle?
No, it is an oar.
It is an oar.
What do they call those people?
Canoers?
Rowers? Depends on what you're rowing. I mean, they do have those in the Olympics where they row.
Team crew.
Oh, crew. What do they say? They say something.
Stroke.
No, that's not it.
I could. Hey,
That is not it. I know for sure.
it's not.
I would have remembered that one. They say something. It's not stroke.
Isn't it mush?
No, that
No,
is
that's
dang on bobsledding.
Yeah.
That's bobsledding. That's the Winter Olympics.
He know. He gonna put it in the chat. He know. He gonna save us.
Sorry.
Rowing clubs.
Eve. I don't know. Maybe.
They be stroking.
They say something when they do that to keep the rhythm.
I think it is stroke.
It is.
See?
I think you're right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, everybody says something different, but that's just one I remember.
Is that one? All right, I'm gonna. I know.
Everybody-
I know
wait,
you know.
what? I missed it. What was it?
You know, there's more than one way to skin a cat now.
Stroke. You can stroke it.
And she was just singing the dago, you know what? He's singing the down home blues. I be stroking. You look at
I didn't stroke
I didn't want to say that because I was like, nah, don't do it.
Stroke it to the left.
See, you be like, oh, you know, but
Let me not. Let me.
That's all.
Come on. Don't get me. I don't want to get in trouble out here.
Okay. Brother Rock, the more you learn, the more you realize you know nothing. It's like constantly resetting your phone after every software upgrade. You just start over fresh as long as you're humble.
And then I think that was posted even on the Instagram page of that humility is knowing your limitations. So now it's like the more you know, like I don't know any. I thought I had it all together. I thought I was good to go. It's like, yo, there's a long way that I need to go. But as long as one shows humility, like, you know, I'm just gonna constantly just keep doing what I need to do to keep moving.
Yeah.
I thought we had a quiz.
We do, but we still have one more sentence and we flowing. Right?
Yeah, we're blowing.
I didn't want to break it up.
keep us
I thought we had a quiz.
Yes, she moving right along, people.
Here we go.
I knew it.
Oh,
Y'all did
The
that.
semen say. See, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know I'm immature. You know I'm a laugh. The semen says true. Here we go again.
crewman. Isn't it?
The crew.
The crew?
Yes. We see what you're
crewmen,
doing there.
sailors, whatever.
This is setup. Move on. No
Okay.
semen here.
No. Well, okay. Right. I was like, well, maybe. Oh, okay. With more
Stop it. Come on. Come on.
sorry.
Keep it together, people. Low rocking. The next thing you know, I'm going to be leaning, falling out my chair. We can't do that on camera.
Damn,
This is
I'm
not
ready
like,
to fall
we're
off.
not at home right now.
Okay. With more resets, Rod, you become more light. So you're really looking for the dark spots from the
No,
light.
this is no longer.
She became the anchor woman. She's straight.
Yeah, sounds like BBC News.
Mhm.
I'm looking at Brother Lo. Stop laughing. He's making me laugh.
I know. He literally, he's trying to hold it in too.
Looking for the dark spots to remove from the light body. Yeah, the shadows.
Yes.
Sister Maksha is over it.
No, she's not.
Mm-mm. Did you get an accent? Who got an accent? I thought we had a quiz. I guess we was the bad students in the class. Okay.
Right, she's like, excuse, teacher. Last strong, you said on Friday that we're getting a test, and I'm prepared.
Right.
And he's like,
And
girl,
the rest,
shut up. Don't
right.
Right.
Yo,
No.
man, for this, man. We almost out of here. Hold on,
Right,
y'all.
it's like, come
We
on,
supposed
y'all.
to take a test.
Okay. Let's do this last sentence and then we'll get into the quiz. Get into the quiz. Like, share, subscribe. Tell people to come to the quiz.
So the last sentence says, as above, so below. Yeah, I mean, okay. So of course, so this sentence is really, connected, right? As it is all connected, but it's directly connected to the two sentences prior, where faith without works is dead, and the work is to recreate the structure of Yah on earth. So if we are recreating that structure, in theory, that perhaps may be above, right? And so we are down below because we're climbing, trying to ascend and evolve ourselves constantly. And that's again in support of what Chief, not that it needs any support, but another, example of what Chief was speaking to in the chat, that it's like all that you got right now, one little morsel of information or listening to it again gives you a whole nother perspective. And so with that, I lost my train of thought. But with that, the idea of as above, so below is really connecting the two. We are here to live the way. That's it. Look at my notes, right? Go to your script, girl. Go to your script. My script ain't got nothing. Just some scribble scrabbles. And because I don't look down while y'all are speaking, I want to look my pen. So that's why it's like all askew, all on. Anyway, no, seriously, the idea of recreating Yah on earth. We again, just taking it back to, church times. And even like, the idea of, well, my salvation comes in the afterlife, all my joy and all my goodness and happiness comes later. What about your experience here? What about the idea that you are to live and that tome, that book, that blueprint, that original blueprint is really your beacon, your lighthouse, your guide, the reflection of what's above that you are charged to be below. Period. Say it, dude.
That's on period.
Low with the save.
But yeah, man. I mean, it just goes back to, basically not being stuck on that pew. Being stuck on that pew. It's like, do you want to come back, or do you want to make something of yourself here so you don't have to come back? Because we don't want to be like Chief, choking out Jesus, making him tap out, go sleep, saying, I ain't coming back. I'm just saying, But I mean,
no.
No, but anyway, but I would say, also that stop it, Zach.
Now I'm gonna have this visual forever. Like, yoke them up.
Hey, I do all the time. That's what keeps me laughing, man. Like, I can see it.
Ain't going back.
Ain't going back.
But anyway, so I would say, you make something of yourself here, you know what I'm saying? And you basically take from the source, and then you be humble and just give and make the world better than you left it. Most people don't want to do that. They just expect the world to give them everything, but what are you trying to give back to the world? You came down here for a reason. What was that? Besides answer the question, what else do you want to do besides, get the question or answer the question? You can answer the question and still do something else, to leave a mark on something. A lot of people don't want to leave a mark on their world or leave a mark on their family, as well. Basically say, what did your great grandfather, have in mind when he, made this family? What was his intentions? Your descendants can't even say because they don't know. I don't know. I don't even know. Things like that, dysfunctional. But yeah, it's a lot to think about. So I'm done. What, you looking at me to say something witty? Something because I'm looking at this. She's like, come on.
Yeah, she's like, but wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more. No, that's it. That's something. I'm done.
That's right.
Next.
Okay. You know what? I don't put that promise in my prayers for decades. Try to send me back down with some coat of gold or something. Gonna be some effed up angels running to other planets. I think when you said that, I was thinking of Debo and Craig. Go sleep.
Running to other planets.
Look, he like on site, B, on site. When I see you, Peter.
Right. Real talk on everything I love, yo.
On everything, yo. On everything, I ain't going back, yo.
Oh my word.
Tell your shot, I ain't going back, B.
Let me stop. Okay, let me get back into
not going back.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, this was great.
So it was great. We were just flowing. So we do have a quiz, and I'm going to try to put it up, and it's made for all of us to interact. So those of us on camera, we're just gonna have to kind of shout out our answers and see how they align with everybody else. Okay. Let's see how we do this.
Yeah, you're gonna wait until we have more people to do the quiz, or we're just gonna start immediately?
Yeah, I know that. Well,
where they coming from?
What do you mean? More people?
Just a question.
You see how she did that? She's the one who's like, "Don't we have a quiz?" And I was like, "Oh, you're gonna do it now, or you're gonna wait? Wait till what?
Wait for what?
12:30, 1 a.m.
Wait for what?
Well, everybody in the chat, bring one other person in. We can have 22 people in here. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, we can. Like while we I'm
set it up. Yeah.
And the thing for everybody to be able to see. I'm gonna put it up.
I mean, definitely, I knew should go get our brothers and sisters, right? That's a straight start.
All right. All right. So you can go to my quiz. What? What's so funny?
I got confused. I'm like, oh, do I need a second device? And I remembered, no, Precious.
No, we're not. Second device. And willingly, everybody can see it. Joinmyquiz.com, and then you put in that code. So I'm going to start as we wait for everybody to get in. No participants yet. All right.
Oh my goodness. Did you read this comment?
That's why I was laughing.
I can't see now.
One of the brothers have to read it.
Okay.
He said, like them earthlings is. Well, first he says, you know it. I done put down that promise in my prayers for decades. Try to send me back down with some coat of gold or something. Gonna be some effed up angels running to the other planets. And then did you say, like, them earthlings is different? This mother effer snuck a gat into heaven. Bad shots just
mad shots. Look at shots in heaven.
Word, son, a gat. That's my word, God. That's my word,
Everything I love, yo. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. We got people up in here playing this game.
And I was on mute. We got 2.
Ow. All right.
All right.
I think I see 3 now.
3. All right. Welcome, Terica. Welcome.
Terica.
I don't know who that is, but welcome.
And I saw a Hebrew something down. Let's see.
I figured that was Sister Kashia. I didn't read it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see
It
it.
was started with a cough. I was like, that's you, Sister Kashia? You can put
That's
a one in
you.
the chat.
You. Right.
Yeah, it's Kashia.
Oh yes, because she.
Got 4.
You know, I will say while we're waiting, Hebrew has, brought me back to like learning how to speak again. Like sounding my letters out in order to form words. It is very humbling, I will say, especially being someone who prides themselves on like diction and articulating oneself fluently. I'm like, ka, she, ah, yeah, okay, yes, that's Kashia. Like,
Oh, wow. Okay.
peace.
Mhm.
Okay. I think I might know who that is, but okay.
I'm
Okay.
sure. Big
All right,
Swole,
it's gonna be
Dopius Maximus. Okay.
Okay. Give thanks. I see the message in the chat. Give thanks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, Big Swole. Yes, Kashia. Yes, Sister Kashia. Too low for you.
Oh,
That's for Akilo. That's you? That's you in the chat, Akilo?
Who else?
I can't see with the joint quiz in front of your face.
Oh, because okay, I can remove it. I was just
Right.
I can't see my brother Low at the bottom. Okay.
I always thought like the thing was tiny, but I think it's y'all
Nice. Yeah, I think it's good. All right. Well, we got 7.
I think that's the God number. I think we could start.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll start.
Country. Yes, ma'am. Says the Brooklynite. Goodness gracious.
You said yes, ma'am. Yes,
You
sir.
heard that. You heard that,
Yes,
right? Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
the time. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Does that say what is family?
Yes, it does.
All right. Oh, and then there's 30 seconds for each question. Is that?
Mhm.
I was thinking Brady Bunch too earlier, Sister Kashia. I'm going with. I can't see the whole answer. I'm sorry.
6. It's up top. It's up here. We have to do this view so I can see all done because I need to see the timer.
Okay. I'll wait.
So let's see where we at so far. Sister
I'll
Kashia,
go with
Naya
Kashia.
coming in second. Big dope swole. All right.
Hey,
We
come
got
on,
4
come
people.
through.
This is a trick question. This had 2 correct answers.
Mm-hmm.
So those who serve the household,
And 2
or
more.
you could have picked 2 or more individuals with the same goals and objectives. There were some eggs in the chat during our build. We were giving away some of the answers if you was listening.
Yes. So what's next?
The decision to create family, fill in the blank.
Is one to not enter into lightly. That may not be it though. Oh, it's here.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the most important in judgment.
That's not it.
Oh, yes. Okay. I see the answer.
I think there might have been 2 with that one as well.
Mm-hmm. Is one of the most important. Indeed.
Oh, you got a lot of time.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
Everybody's answers, so we're gonna move on.
Okay.
All done. All right.
We need like a video version where you can just shout your answers on screen instead of.
Yeah.
All right, Imanaya. Whoop, whoop, big
Mhm.
swole.
Yeah, it's so quick. Like,
Mm-hmm. Comes up the side. Yep, those are the two that I was thinking.
okay.
And I don't hear any of us shouting out answers.
I can't see the screen. I can't really see what's
Oh,
up.
you can. Oh, you're on your phone. Yeah, I have this such a big monitor in front of me. So I'll read them. Let's see. Let's see what's next.
I zoomed out. I think I can see a little bit better.
I
And
can't
give
see.
thanks to Aki Antonio. He
Yes.
could not be here with us virtually, but he is definitely here in spirit because he populated the majority of our quiz questions.
He sure did. He said, Big Swole. Dopius Maximus. You got to say the whole thing, Mom. Done.
Like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole dang
Say
thing.
the whole dang thing. What does the word religion mean? Reread, to worship a higher power or God, to bind back to the source, to relegate. I got my answers.
And sirs, are you insinuating
To bind back to the source.
Mm-hmm. It also could be to reread.
To reread, right? That's what.
It's to
No, then she gonna say, How you gonna try to check me, boo, and then back it on up? Like, because I'm like, I thought it was to reread as well. Thank you, Aki Zach. I was questioning it for.
All right, Big Swole Dopius Maximus has got y'all.
That ain't even right. He done wrote the book. He done wrote it. He done wrote the foundation. He laid all that concrete, all that cement. What's next? Oh, okay. We're giving out the answer if I call it out. I'm just gonna read it. Do Anu people mate with non-Anu people? Give 2 reasons for your answer. We needed some music for this part. So you know what? All right. So maybe we can just deliberate a little bit. So, what's the spin the wheel? What was that about? Yes. Do Anu people mate with non-Anu? Yes. Oh, all right. So we can build on that. Why? Why do you say that, Ra? I guess you can't go back and give a reason. Big dope, small don't do paperwork. Okay. Big dope, Bias Maximus. Okay. Right. Excellent. Excellent.
Oh, I like how the answers are coming up.
Yes. So if we as women.
Oh, goodness.
So I know some of the answers are still coming in. But I think the non-Anu piece would be the distinction, right? As it pertains to the Anu man bringing in a non-Anu woman. So if he is covering said woman, and he, because he is the head, is living and being Anu, then in turn, as she comes in under his headship, she too is Anu. So it's kind of tricky there with that one. Yep, there it is. Big Swole Dopius Maximus with the clarification. Yep. Give thanks. You like that name, Akizak? I'm gonna keep saying it too.
And he used capital letters on.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is an official title, okay? And we could not just say Big Swole. You had to put that Dopius Maximus in.
Oh man.
Yep. Oh, is that? Oh, that's the end of that question. All right. Come on, we gotta unmute and have some kind of discourse. Akilo in the zone. He's like, I am gonna get this next answer.
Hey, I'm just like, okay. Next question.
Right. Moving along. Yeah, I mean, 6 people answer. Maybe that 7th is like, bump this quiz, man. Yeah, we should go to the.
Too much pressure on him now. Ease up on the pressure. Perform.
I know we all staring like, what's your answer?
Look,
What's your answer though?
Mark. I don't know.
I quit.
Leave me alone now.
I quit. It's Friday night. Yom she. Supposed to be Yom.
Friday night at 8. I will not be late. She might be my mate, and that will be so great. Great.
Oh yes. Great. See, I knew I didn't know it because it was a movie. I'm like, how do I not know that song?
Nutty Professor.
It's I told you. Unless it's Purple Rain or Under the Cherry Moon. You get it, Prince.
But then you must purify
Fight
your
Club,
waters and
yeah. I won't say
purify
that.
yourself in the waters on Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah. I'll reserve my answer. Okay. Oh. How a family is served is defined by, I'll just read that. Ahead. Time's up. That one was so short.
Yeah, that was no time at all.
Right. The other one was like 18 minutes. Now we down to one responder. Probably because they couldn't even type it in fast enough.
And it was incorrect.
Oh. Peace, Emma Queer.
The answer was home culture.
Oh, somebody messed up the question. You're fired. You're fired. That's what it say in the chat. That's what it say in the chat. I ain't say it. Yeah, that was like 8 seconds. That was like 8 seconds. How a family is served is defined by.
Is this a do-over?
Yes. Oh no.
The family service.
Oh, what is the Hebrew word for family? Ah, okay. Mishpach.
Why not mishpachot?
Is, yeah, well, that's families.
I'm just being trying to
and like both can be the answer, right? Well, I guess it's not families.
Oh, email.
And she said, no way, she gets on the screen, people. You can tell she's competitive, right? She's like, if you answer, Sister Precious, and you're right, provided I'm right. I could be wrong. Mm-mm-mm. Come through with 4 answers. All right.
Yes.
I know, Sister Kashia. I know, because I'm super competitive. But competitive in a healthy way. I've learned. But we gonna win. Come through, Ra. That's right. You got it. Mm-hmm. All right, 5 out of 7 ain't bad. People got to type fast. Let's go. Let's do it. We ain't gonna be up on here all night now. Soon my baby's gonna start coming in the room like, excuse me.
Yeah. Everybody's so
Deidre,
focused.
can we go to the next question, please? We got the winning spirit. That's right. I'm not losing. What is love? Connection.
I mean, it's not a squishy feeling? What do you mean?
Warm and fuzzies, butterflies on the inside. Love. Them hearts and them IGs. Binding force between 2 individuals. Yes. AKA a connection. Well, it's not between, it's connecting more than just individuals though, right? It's the connection. Period. There's a lot of variance on the time between these rounds. It's like driving me insane. We're gonna be here for what, like 2 whole minutes? Jeez.
So random, right?
Yes. Embryonic draw of a reciprocal exchange. Oh, I like that answer, Avery. Interesting. That was super deep, huh?
How many questions left?
You don't get to ask that. How you
What do you mean?
Anu woman should listen with her ears, with her eyes, with our friends. Listen with caution. Danger. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep this like, because y'all all quiet and like sober right now. Come on. Be something other than sober. I won't say the word, but be that. Be inebriated by the Most High.
You could be that and quiet too.
Listen with caution. Who say listen with caution? Danger.
I was just saying the wrong answers to throw you off. Don't let that.
Right. It was not listen with caution.
Listen with your friends and go astray.
What are the 3 stages of courtship? Discovery, role, identification, full disclosure, courting, betrothal, marriage. Identify mate, dating, sex, or sex, identify, mate, dating, or no, I'm joking. Thought, action, marriage. I was just gonna say, people do them in different orders. They're all wrong. That order is all wrong. Oh, I like the penguins. I'm mute. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna mute out. That's what I'll do.
But I'm unmuted. I'm nobody. What I mean? I'm talking.
Everybody, you're unmuted and barely talking. I'm like
I
just
have to be muted.
jabbering
It's the music.
way too much.
So you can hear the music. I gotta be muted.
There's music?
Oh my gosh, all this time you
What?
you can hear music all this time?
What's she talking about?
There's music.
No, there's no music.
Girl, bye.
It's so quiet.
That's why I'm talking, because
All right, so
it's like dead.
All right, so we're gonna mute that. All right, so
Discovery
yeah.
roll. So we should talk about this one
We
though.
should. I kind of wanted to go back. Like, who picked caution?
Danger.
Like caution.
Watch
But
it.
you know what?
Did you get the book? Did you get it? Did you get the book?
But you know what? I mean, that's a beautiful thing, because we do have definitely some new names in the game, which means that maybe some people who are not in the chat chose to come in. So let's talk about it. Let's edify. And then go download that PDF, y'all. It's free 99. For free.
For free. It's for free.
So what are the 3 stages of courtship, sisters and brothers?
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Well, we can give it to them now.
Oh, well,
I meant us.
Oh, you're talking to us.
Yes, I'm like sisters and brother. So it's courting, betrothal, and
No.
courtship. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm listening to you. Okay. What's going on?
No, don't listen to me. Like she said, I wanted to get out of here for the babies. So clearly I'm wrong. So pardon. Discovery, role identification, and full disclosure. Yes. That's courtship.
Discovery. So that's where things should be. You discover. You're learning. When we first talked, we had the courtship section on family. You are learning about one another.
Right.
It's getting to know one another. And then we also have a covering initiative, which kind of helps with part of that phase. Even though the covering initiative is practice, it still embodies a lot of the discovery phase of a courtship. What's so funny?
And because what she put in the chat.
It's the lady.
Get the lady, knock the lady down, block the haters.
And then
step 4, repeat
with
steps
the
1, 2, 3. Bam.
With the all cap nose, like, no, don't do it, Emma. I did it. It's all good. It's all
Block
good.
the haters. I guess that is courting, betrothal, and marriage. I guess. Okay. Next question. All right. Oh my goodness, you're right. There is, well, no.
What was the music anyway?
It's like, suspenseful, we're quizzing, that kind of music.
That's music.
Blank are what institute a family. Fill in the blank. Watoto. All right.
If Big Swoledopius Maximus answers first, everyone's gonna answer.
Right. I mean,
in kind.
Get it wrong this time, people.
With Watoto and everything. Like, yes, Watoto. Absolutely.
Children. Yes, the answer is children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what though? I put that answer in like you have to get it exactly. So Big Swole Maximus, I don't know that you're gonna get that point. You got something else besides children in the box. You might not get that point. I don't know.
All right, Imanaya.
All right. Oh, I think this is it. This is the last question. Last question.
Oh, yeah, it's down at the bottom. 11 out of 11. All right.
I'm
Ooh.
table this.
I
time.
read this on one only like 5 times, so I know it. I know it live. I mean, live. I read it more than 5.
Can you read Isaiah 4:1? Can somebody find it real quick and read it? Or either give me the point or I'm taking the point.
Man, I
So,
feel like I almost know it by heart.
I don't know that you can get that point.
I know it.
That's not the way the system works.
So say it. You know it, Ima. Say it.
I want to get it all correct. I feel like I know it by heart. I'm gonna confirm by, and if I could pull it up.
I only have an excerpt.
Well, wait. It's the time will come where 7. No, I don't want to mess it up.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I just messed up the last whole situation.
It's okay. And in that day,
Oh, see?
7 women shall take hold of one man,
We'll take
saying, "We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach."
I was gonna do the EP version. That's Ema Precious. It had all of that. In that time, 7 sisters will hold on to one brother and
what
say it.
happened was,
I'm gonna stitch up my own wares and purchase my own kale.
and
Just let me be called by thy namest.
thy name. Because so let's go over some of these holy ones.
She said, either get me a point, give me the point, or I'm taking the point.
What you talking about, Sister Kashia? Holy one. Please tell us what you talking about. Sister Diane said
Holy
to
ones.
take her
What
reproach
you talking about?
covered and called by a man's name.
To take away, yeah, that's it.
Big Swole Dopius Maximus says, because it provides a warning to women as to the condition where their mind will go out of desperation in a time where there is no male leadership. It lets men know that their presence alone is the greatest gift of honor to give to a woman. And that's it. Aquia. Peace. It speaks to a woman wanting their shame removed and be covered.
Yep.
It's too low for you. It's important because it talks about women being in plurality, but not submitting to the man, keeping that independence. You know what? I wonder, like, yeah, because it's like, well, we just want your name. We'll do this, we'll do that. We just want your name. So I wonder, maybe Big Swole Dopius Maximus could weigh in on that. Is some of that also in there, like keeping that independence? Sister Kashia guessed. What? You guessed, Sister Kashia.
Yeah, and that was you.
Wow, that was your guess. Like holy ones. What?
Time is coming, the truth and information of family will be evident to all covered. That time is upon us.
Yeah, now it's coming. It's here. It's
That
about to
time
be
is
WWIII.
now.
That's what it's about to be. So that time is now.
When in doubt, holy it out. Holy.
Yeah, not for that one.
Exclamation point. Like, holy. I was like, what? What's she talking about?
What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying?
Oh, that is too funny. Right. Who's going to say no? Who's going to say that's wrong? Just put the Elohim. It's like, well, not quite, but I could see how that could be.
That's like Jesus. Like, no.
You feel bad just saying no, that ain't it, sis.
That ain't it.
That ain't it. That ain't it.
It's sometimes when people say on God. Well, yeah, that's it.
Right. Yeah. All right. It looks like you've answered in the chat.
Yes, that scripture isn't a promise to men of how great it will be what man is truly attracted to, and what man is truly attracted to an independent female. Also, a woman changes drastically when she is in the world contending.
Yep.
Yeah.
You uncovered. You're out there with the wolves.
Adultery.
That's what it is.
In the mix.
There was one question you said you wanted to go back to. No, you just had a question about who put
cautious, but it doesn't matter. You made a good point. There are people who are doing the quiz who weren't necessarily in the chat, so forgive me, my bad. Okay.
Speaks to the importance of coming together.
I think that's it. We got one more person because this is the last question, so we can build on this question. I mean, we had a whole segment about this.
We did.
We had a whole segment about this verse, so we can just build on this while we wait for the last person if they're going to answer this question. But she said the reality is that is going on because feminism has taken root in society. Grabbing hold to a man is masculine within itself. This means there are no covers / fathers those women are represented by. Right, because, there's a whole process. Like what happened to the families negotiating? There's a knocking ceremony, all of those things. Right. So if you're grabbing hold of a man, that means there was nobody there to broker that for you. There was no Baba and Mama Freeman, to broker that courtship. You just grabbing up men because the floor is made of hot lava.
That's it. No, I didn't even mean it. That really is, every time Isaiah 4:1 is even mentioned, the vision that I have is just pandemonium, burning down, cities burning, like just feverishly. I think it was you, Sister Kashia. Sister Kashia. It wasn't Sister Kashia. It was you, Sister Deidre, who was talking about checking all those hot doorknobs. Like, just keep on. It's kind of like that's the time. But you know what? Do you even acknowledging that time is now? How fervently are you seeking that? Because maybe maybe it's not the time of where there are 7. Maybe it's just the one, because the other 6 are still like, what is it? Waist training and contouring out in those good streets. So they don't even realize what time it is just yet. So if you are that one, how are you seeking that headship, that covering? That's really the question. That's the question. Yeah.
All right. So I don't think the last person's going to answer. So we're going to end the question. And if if you were still working on it, please feel free. You can put your answer in the chat. It's okay. There's like a little score, but the consolation prize is like, yay! We don't have
Congratulations!
So, yay!
Oh wait, you don't get to see the leaderboard. Who won?
I think so. Hold on, let me see what this is. This is if you want to end the quiz. Yes. So let's see the leaderboard. Oh no! What do you mean? Refresh. Uh-oh.
No leaderboard for you.
Oh, leaderboard.
No soup for you.
I guess that's it. We don't know.
Listen, this whole app heard that Big Swole Dopius Maximus would take points if points are not appointed, and it just said recalculating.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, right. It's like calibrating.
It's like, I got a fix for you. You will not be shown as the leader of this board.
The computer makes the decision. Okay.
Let's see
if it will let us review the question.
Trying to wipe my legacy.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's if it comes. Oh, here we go.
So we could click on through to the end, huh?
Overview.
All right. Can we move the highlight at the bottom? The quote?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks. All right.
So Imanaya.
Come
Oh
through, Iman.
wow.
Oh,
It's got
we.
all the business.
Oh,
All
you don't say.
It's all
Well,
the
Up
look,
at the
business.
top of that leaderboard representing Imanaya.
Uh-oh.
Listen, we clearly need a recount. This is definitely rigged. I don't know what happened.
yeah.
There
Like,
was an error. So yeah, the
we
question
know.
was, the family was asked wrong. It was wrong. The question was wrong. But I don't know if it's gonna change anything.
I'm like, that was just one.
All right. So we have Imanaya is
She said I was older. I'm older point.
Yes, Deidre, you're all two people, 2 points.
That's right.
I'm
People
sorry.
talking about robbery in the chat.
Man, it's always like that, especially with them dang on trick questions. You be like, what? I know my question right.
Right.
But
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, it's always tricky when you have to do the long answer because it's looking for
Yeah.
a particular term.
But the open-ended ones, they don't get.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The
So,
open-ended.
they don't get
Mhm.
scored.
Oh,
Only
okay.
the blanks,
That was hard.
Because she said the timing. Look, they got a list. They got a litany of complaints in the chat. First of all, the timer was off. Second of all, the question was a trick question. Third of all, I hit something by accident, on accident. Fourth of all, I wrote the dang dong.
Right, I wrote it.
I know what's right and what ain't.
You wrote it wrong.
Oh, this is good. Yes.
Yes. So willfully, we'll try to incorporate more like live quizzes. But you know what? We'll do it at the beginning. That might be best. Like to do it at the beginning, and then we can build off of that way. So
Look, she said understanding equals children. Like that was the right answer. It is.
You know what?
Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. That is true.
That is true. But this was a line straight out of our new way. So for that, and it was wrong.
Let that be a lesson to you. Be a little less complicated. Be a little less complicated. Simplicity. I'm learning that too.
Okay. Give thanks, everyone. Give thanks. Congratulations, Imanaya. That's how we got. That's what you're gonna
Yes,
get.
congrats to Naya.
No gift cards or anything here. That's what you get. All right. Give thanks, everyone. Give thanks to Aki Lo and Aki Zach for joining us. Give thanks to Aki Antonio for doing the quiz questions because that was awesome. Give thanks.
Thanks.
Definitely here in spirit. Give thanks, Sister Moksha, for joining us. Give thanks, Eva Precious. Like this was great.
Give thanks, Sister Deidre.
Give thanks, Alien.
Alien.
My name is Alien. Alien. No, Alien.
Yes, give thanks. And Babaka Shaw. All right, so guess what? This was it for family. Oh my gosh. So I just wanted 50 weeks. And the truth is, we weren't necessarily counting in the beginning. So I think it was actually a little bit more than 50. So we've been on this section for an entire year. An entire year we took to go through family because it was just that important. 52 weeks.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We took our time. We took our sweet time.
And there's still so much more, right? If we were to go back and read it again and deliberate again, we'll come up with a whole different set of, valuable gems. So
yeah, because even all of the references to other works, like in 14 Keys, like you could do family again just off of solutions. And when we use solutions examples, like I think every
Yeah.
time, like examples
Yeah.
come from solutions. So you could go through family. You're right.
Very
We can
true.
do family again and have a whole different build. So give thanks.
Very true. Very true.
All right.
I'm sure family will keep coming up, I mean, consider we're going into economics, right? So for those of you who are listening and you're gonna be on here next, Yom Shishi, make sure you have your Anu way and you get through that first section of the economics. And I think we'll still have conversation around family,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. All right.
Oh, and here is reminding us that Top Tier Speakers is on tonight on Clubhouse at 10 p.m. Mothers in Love
Eastern
series.
Standard Time. Oh, but she's Central Time, so that's it's still in another hour, I guess, or 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think 2 hours, right?
Because she's Central Time, so that means it's either going to be 11 o'clock for us, or she's saying it's Eastern. It's our time. Okay. So,
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
Okay, everyone.
So, wait. I forgot what I was going to say.
Wait, I don't know what I'm saying, girl.
Make sure you visit www.iKnewLifeGlobal.org and you will find our information on the free 99 I Knew Way Foundation. You could also find information on how to join to be sponsored by an I Knew member. Please go there at www.iknewlifeglobal.org/join. Give thanks. And I knew
that was a good Home Shopping Network commercial. I just want to let you know. And she had the book in her hand and everything for free 99. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be shown at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm like, but wait, there's more.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, we're like, end the live, right?
You're like, cut, but wait, cut.
There's more.
Well, y'all would have went, but I would still be here. I got the button. No.
That's right. You do.
All right. Give thanks, everyone. Shabbat shalom. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be here next strong, going over economics with Aki Antonio. Peace.
Peace.